13 News Now at 5 begins with breaking news. Crews are searching for a missing boater in James City County. Police there say a boat capsized on the York River near Croker Landing with 2 people on board. 1 person was rescued and taken to the hospital. Emergency officials are still looking for the other person. This video of the scene comes to us from viewer Ed Howard. 13 News Now has a crew on the way and will bring you the latest information as it comes in.
All right, with partly cloudy skies and hot and humid temperatures, it's a beautiful day across Hampton Road. Our
cameras captured people working on their boats and enjoying the views from Waterside Marina in Norfolk. And Jeff, more clouds are rolling in tonight.
Yeah, a few, but I don't think we're going to see, well, I know we're not going to see much in the way of rain chances. Couple of spots, maybe. In fact, let's take a look. Sky view again, showing just partly cloudy skies. There's nothing here locally, but we are starting to pick up some action both west of us and then south or southwest of us, really. And as I widen that, you'll be able to see this stuff. Some pretty strong thunderstorms actually out near Roanoke, even a warning there for some flooding right near the word Roanoke. That is really drifting more northeast. That's not going to bother us tonight. Stuff that's down here in North Carolina is moving more due north. So eventually, maybe a couple of these stray showers that are down near Wilmington or over toward New Bern, 1 or 2 of those could move into the area, but the odds are pretty low. So right now it is just hot. It's 67 for a dew point, and that means that 87 degrees actually feels closer to 90. From here, we're talking about temperatures that will continue again to fall down pretty steadily into the 80s and the 70s, but virtually no chance of rain. That's the good news. I'll talk more coming up.
All right, Jeff, right now we're hearing from the family of 16-year-old Daquan Robinson, the victim of a 4-vehicle crash in Hampton. At the same time, a second 16-year-old involved in the crash is fighting for his life. Crash happened on West Pembroke Avenue at Powhatan Parkway just before 7:30 last night. 13 News reporter Jacqueline Lee is live in Hampton with new information. Jacqueline.
David, this is the intersection where the accident happened. 16-year-old Daquan Robinson was sitting right there at that light waiting to make a left turn when all of a sudden a car rear-ended him, slamming him into the intersection, killing him instantly. In this surveillance footage, you can see 16-year-old Daquan Robinson waiting at the light, ready to make a left-hand turn. But seconds later, he was pushed across the intersection and slammed into a box truck. This was the aftermath.
I told my coworker that, see, there's a fire, and she said, like, no, it's an accident. So we pick up our phones and we call 911.
Robinson's family said he died instantly. They're devastated. The 16-year-old had his moped for less than 2 months.
I feel like somebody needs to be put away now. I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't care about the man being 60 years old. I don't care about any of that.
They tell me he wanted to join the Marines and was on the honor roll.
Yeah, he was 16. He was full of life. He loved his family. He played football at Hampton High School, number 5 on the team. He loved his dog. He loved everything. He was really quiet too.
The Hampton Police Reconstructive Crash Team is investigating the cause of the accident. No charges have been filed at this time. And Robinson had another 16-year-old on the moped as well. That 16-year-old is in the hospital tonight in stable condition. As for the driver of the pickup truck that hit Robinson, he has non-life-threatening injuries, and the Hampton police are still trying to figure out what caused the accident. Live in Hampton, Jacqueline Lee, 13 News Now.
A 17-year-old boy is charged with sexual battery, accused of assaulting a 15-year-old girl. According to Camden County Sheriff's Office, the victim said the suspect forced her into a sexual act. The incident allegedly happened in an empty classroom during the school day on May 4th. The suspect was served with a warrant on May 10th and released on a $2,000 bond. The Camden County School Board said it is fully cooperating with the investigation.
Right now, charges have been withdrawn against a Norfolk caregiver accused of neglect. Veroline Morgan was supposed to have a preliminary hearing today. She allegedly neglected a man so badly that he was septic, was forced to live with maggots in his wounds, and had several bed sores. Today, the Commonwealth's attorney withdrew the charges with the option to refile them at a later date.
Tonight, a community is shaken after 2 brothers were found dead outside their Gates County home. The sheriff's office says 23-year-old Caleb Kittrell and 21-year-old Justin Kittrell were found early yesterday morning with apparent gunshot wounds. 13 News Now anchor Ernie LeBeau has more information.
In this quiet rural community is where Gates County Sheriff deputies found two siblings dead. The bodies of 21-year-old Justin Cottrell and 23-year-old Caleb Cottrell were discovered off of Parker's Church Road down this secluded driveway, the driveway leading to their family's home. That's where deputies say they found the two men outside their Coral Peak home, shot to death. But what led to their deaths is still unknown. Deputies are working with the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation on this case and asking people in the community for any information that may help them solve it.
I reached out to the Cottrell family that actually owns a local farming business along this main road. They said at this time they did not want to speak and would like to be given the time to mourn. In Gates County, I'm Erin LeBeau, 13 News Now.
Tonight, Virginia Beach City Council is expected to vote on the proposed budget for next year. One version included increases in taxes and fees, but after several meetings, that's changed. This proposed budget doesn't include any increases in fees and personal property tax. Because of that, the city won't be able to add new positions and will have to reduce the stormwater fund. Instead of adding 10 police officers, they'll only be able to add 5. Also, under the proposed budget, there is a 2% increase for city and school employees, and there's also money in the budget to add a workforce development program for police to improve retention.
Developing news in Virginia Beach, city planners are working to build up the Burton Station area. That's off Northampton Boulevard, not far from the Norfolk Premium Outlets. 13 News Now reporter Allie Weatherton joins us live to tell us that Norfolk and Virginia Beach are working together on this.
Well, Janet, I'm standing in a big open space where Virginia Beach and Norfolk City leaders say they want this area developed and they're willing to work together to make that happen. And they say if all goes according to plan, this section will be very busy. 33 acres of open land could soon look like this. A large shopping plaza filled with dozens of restaurants and stores.
Always been plans to provide more non-residential type development in the Burton Station area, and so this is it.
The land is owned by the city of Norfolk, but sits in Virginia Beach off Northampton Boulevard. Comprehensive Planning Coordinator for Virginia Beach, Mark Shea, says earlier this month the Zoning Commission rezoned this land from residential to commercial in hopes of bringing more businesses to the area. In June, the ordinance heads to Virginia Beach City Council for the final vote.
It's a very logical land use to capitalize on the outlet mall that was put across the line in the city of Norfolk.
While both cities will work together on bringing the shopping plaza to the area, Shea says this is also another opportunity to bring more growth to this section of Virginia Beach.
It could be a kind of a self-contained community where you can do everything in the same area, not have to drive everywhere to get what you need.
The current proposed plan for the Burton Station area is to have room for commercial and industrial space, as well as mixed-use spaces with businesses and offices on the bottom and apartments up top.
Most people don't want to see more than 3 to 5 stories in the buildings, so there's not going to be like high-rise buildings or anything like that there. So.
Now at 6, hear from Interim Mayor Lewis Jones and what he thinks about these proposed plans. In Virginia Beach, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
All right, if you were impacted by the Hatteras and Ocracoke Island blackout last summer, well, you could be eligible for reimbursement. Right now, attorneys are at the Chickamaucomico Fire Station answering questions about the claims process. They'll be there until 6 o'clock. In July, a construction crew accidentally cut the electric power cable leading to the island. Visitors were evacuated and shop owners lost thousands in revenue. A class action lawsuit was settled for $10.3 million.
Tonight, people in York County and Pocosin are coming together to share concerns over Dominion Energy's plans for Yorktown Power Station and coal ash dump sites. They say they've endured decades of pollution associated with the power station. 13 News Now, Nico Clemens explains what the residents want.
They want to be heard.
We just want to be a part of the process.
Randy Trestrail is one of several people in Pocosin and York counties who want to have a say about the future of the Yorktown Power Station.
It's a concern for everybody in the region.
Dominion Energy closed 2 units at the station last April to comply with federal clean air regulations. A few months later, the Environmental Protection Agency ordered Dominion Energy to keep running the units in emergency situations to keep lights on the peninsula. The company ultimately wants to close the power station, and that's where Terrestrial and others come in.
I'm concerned about the water quality and the air quality right in my own environment.
She and others are asking the York County Board of Supervisors to create a citizens advisory committee to discuss Dominion Energy's future plans for the property, including cleanup and remediation efforts.
We want good communication. We want to know what's going on with those sites.
Benita Billingsley Harris with Dominion Energy says they encourage those who are concerned to get involved.
Dominion is always going to do whatever is responsible and whatever is best for the environment. That's important to us. We care about the environment too.
Harris says that they're working to build the Skiffs Creek project and shut down Yorktown's coal units permanently. She also says that they monitor all their sites to make sure they're safe for the public and environment.
We've worked so hard over the last few decades to make sure this process is completely transparent.
Which is what Terrestrial says that they want.
We want the citizens to have an open process, a transparent process.
Tonight on 13 News Now at 6, Terrestrial says that they have even more concerns. I'll tell you what they are and how Dominion Energy is responding. In York County, Nico Clemens, 13 News Now.
The concerned residents are speaking at tonight's York County Board of Supervisors meeting. Starts at 6 o'clock at York Hall on Main Street in Yorktown. Those wishing to make a public comment must fill out a special form before the meeting starts.